I got a question. Why is Avatar: The Way of Water a hit? On paper, it makes zero sense to me because I saw the movie 2 weekends ago now, and I thought it was fine. Just like the first one, it was fine. Looked spectacular, don't get me wrong. Saw it in IMAX 3D. Beautiful. But it was fine. But then I check this box office news every day, and it just got $1 billion, on track for $2 billion. 5 movies down the line, in the holster, ready to go, in the chamber, ready to shoot at me. 5 more Avatar movies. Why? The average population could not name 3 of the characters' names in the 2 Avatar movies. I could probably name 4, and I just saw the movie, and I'm like engrossed in like movie news. So my question is this: why is Avatar such a hit? And it really confounded me. So I've been doing research the last couple of days as to why these movies make so much money, right? Because even the behemoth Marvel has been the box office king the last 5-6 years after like the universe really started kicking up steam. But that's on the downswing. I don't think any of the Marvel movies this year made over $1 billion. And you would say that has more like mainstream appeal to like Avatar. So, I got the answer for you. First of all, I want to talk about The Way of Water. It just came out and my thoughts about it, right? Like I said, it was beautiful. However, the plot was fairly simplistic. Nothing really blew me away. It was kind of predictable. The protagonist of Jake Sully got to be, unpopular opinion or maybe popular opinion, the most boring character that I've ever seen in my entire life. And this is my hater rant, all right? So brace yourself for this. Not a single ounce of charisma built inside that character. And like and listen, the kids, I'll give the kids credit. The kids were by far the most interesting part of the movie, and I'm glad they got the majority of the screen time. But then when they go back and then like the general guy's like, now it's time for me to fight Jake Sully. And Jake Sully's like, yeah, now it's my time. I'm like, go back to the corner. The kids should be fighting the main baddie at the end. Because I have no sympathy, I have no charismatic attachment to Jake Sully, right? But he's like the cornerstone of this entire franchise. And the other thing too, this movie is long. It's so long. And I got another rant brewing, but movies these days, not a single movie needs to be 3 hours long or more. Not a single movie. I really liked The Batman. Did not need to be 3 hours long. Easily could have been 2.5 if you want to make it a long movie. And this movie's length felt very indulgent, right? Because we could have got like the spectacle glory, the spectacle greatness in 2 hours. James Cameron, please. Can we just have a 2-hour-long movie? I will see it twice then. If it's 2 hours, I'm never going to see a 3.5-hour movie twice. Never. I really like The Batman, so I thought, but I'll see it again. It was too long. I wasted 7 hours of my life watching that movie, and I regret it. So I'm never going to watch Avatar: The Way of Water in theaters again. Maybe I'll watch it 5 years from now when everybody's supposed to be dressed in blue for Avatar Day because everyone loves these movies. But listen. That's the things I don't like about the movie. It's too long. Plot's fine. Looked really nice, but the characters I'm not really bought in. I'm not bought into the universe. But as I proposed in the beginning, these movies make so much money. But why? And I got the answer for you. It's because of the things that I hate about it. That's why it made so much money. Besides the length, probably. But for a movie to make $2 billion, like the first one did become the highest grossing movie, and for this one, I'm sure it's going to break $2 billion, you need to have mainstream appeal. And that's where it's beating Marvel nowadays. Because Infinity War, Endgame, those were like event movies. Even people that didn't like Marvel were like, everyone's telling me I got to see this great movie. It's a culmination of blah, 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 blah. Who cares? They see it. $2 billion plus, right? James Cameron, he's a genius. I have to admit he's a genius. While I was not a particular fan of the movie, I didn't hate it. I just thought it was fine. He's a genius. He knows that simple plot with that really like wooden, vague main character is all he needs for mainstream. Not that the mainstream is stupid. Not that they're like, oh, I can't handle a complex character. No, it's just like, even though Jake Sully has nothing interesting about him, he's a blank slate. All that means is a general audience member like myself can become Jake Sully. We can become an avatar, right? And like the general plot of like Dances with Wolves, like people defending their homeland against like the like imperialists, like the military, is a very simplistic plot, and we're automatically going to side with the avatars every single time because it's so black and white. Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? And even in this movie, while I think that they gave the villain a little bit more depth with like his relationship with his son, he's still like a black and white villain, and especially that they bring in the Whalers to even double down on that concept. It's like there's no redeeming quality about these humans here, right? As an aggregate, right? So it's very black and white. We know who the bad guys are. We have a protagonist who's a blank slate that we can project ourselves onto. And he always makes his films a must-see because of technology, right? The average person, and even the average film enjoyer like myself, I don't really follow like tech news. So like 3D movies, like it's new 3D technology. Like I don't really care, personally. But when James Cameron comes up, he says, I've been inventing this technology entirely filmed in water. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And like, it's the most beautiful film you've ever seen. I'm like, I'll check it out. I guess. I'll check it out. Sure, I'll check it out. And then I do. And even though I don't like the movie, he doesn't care because he's here to collect my paycheck. And he knows people like me, even if I thought the first two movies were like average, that I'm going to see the third one because I want to see his new technology. And it's an event and I can't miss out because of my FOMO. So it doesn't matter that like my brain isn't like shooting happy chemicals at this film because he knows he's got my guaranteed $20 at IMAX every time a movie comes out, right? And the general audiences who don't care to see that many movies in theaters, if you're going to choose one movie to watch, why not watch the movie where you know you're going to connect to the plot, at least at a general sense, and it's the most beautiful film that's come out in the last 20 years? If you had to choose, right? You're not going to choose Marvel movie number 27, which also has like a general plot, except you need to know like background. No, his simplistic plots allow anybody to jump in at any time. You could have never heard of Avatar 1, which many of like the younger viewers probably never have. You're 10 years old, you've never seen an Avatar film before. You walk into this one, it's pretty simple, right? Big guys with guns are worse than the bigger guys that are blue. Very simple. The whales are our friends. We're going to ride them to the sunset. People who kill whales, bad guys. Little kids could understand this, right? And adults enjoy the more complex things like, like the character arcs and like maybe they enjoy the spectacle a little bit more because they know a little bit about the background. So that's why those movies like really bring in the cash, right? Because they're just general enough and they're just like inspiring enough in terms of like technology and like motion capture that like you're going to get the film nerds, they're going to have to watch it. Because they got their podcast, they got their YouTube videos. They got to watch it, right? They have to. Guaranteed money, right? You don't need hardcore lore fanatics because those don't exist for Avatar. And you think like, oh, Marvel, that's all hardcore fans. It's not. Because if it was, they would be only making a quarter of what they make. They still rely heavily on mainstream people. And those mainstream people don't care about lore. They don't really care about character depth. Give them a cardboard cutout who just punches guys really good and then like have the interesting characters like on the side. Like your Sigourney Weaver characters and stuff like that. And your Neytiri. I'm just going to shout it out. Coolest character in Avatar. Did not get enough screen time in the new one. Maybe Avatar 3. More action. More like... I like that part. I don't know, man. I don't know. What's the point? What's the point of this video? Who am I talking to, huh? James Cameron doesn't care about me. He's already made his billions of dollars. And I thought the movie was fine. Could it have been a lot better? Yes. Could it have been an hour shorter? Oh, absolutely. But does it matter? No. Because I'm going to see it no matter how long it is. And the mainstream people are going to see it because James Cameron knows how to make an event. Not a film, an event. So that's why Avatar's a success. Not because the film's great, because James Cameron knows how to make a great event. And I'm going to see the third one, even though I'm not bought into the universe. Hope that answered your questions. Just thought I had to get that out there. Be sure to like and subscribe.